This is the end of what I call my series, Jesus Never Mentioned Homosexuality. And here's a recap of this series. Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed because of their lack of charity, not homosexuality, as seen in the book of Ezekiel. Part 2, the difference between man and mankind. Part 3, the book of Romans, and a natural, and what is nature. This is part 4, and the topic is from the books of 1 Corinthians, Jude, and 1 Timothy. In 1 Corinthians 6 chapter 9th verse, the word effeminate is the topic. The Greek and Hebrew concordance defines effeminate as being malakos or malakas, which means fine clothing, or a catamite. Catamite is a word that is defined as a boy that is kept by a pederast, and a pederast is a lover of boys. These are two definitions, but I'm going to stick with catamite, in keeping with the common thread of the Bible. This word effeminate has nothing to do with a man or a boy acting like a woman. What it means is catamite, and it means a boy who is kept by a lover of boys for sexual purposes. And keeping a harem of boys was something very common in the Greek and Roman culture, but it was not common in ancient Africa or the lands around ancient Africa. The original definition of this word effeminate has nothing to do with women and has nothing to do with consensual same-sexual relations. Moving on to the book of 1 Timothy. I was having a conversation with someone about this topic, and they gave me this text from 1 Timothy chapter 8, and I believe it's the 10th verse. And I was surprised because I don't remember ever seeing this verse before. And I didn't remember that it was tied into homosexuality. The text was whoremongers that defile themselves with mankind. And I don't understand what this text has to do with consensual same-sex relationships. I don't know. I really don't know. But I do understand that mankind has nothing to do with consensual relationships. The word mankind means boy. And it ties into what the book of Leviticus says about man being with mankind. Mankind is a boy, and men are not supposed to have sex with boys. The New Testament letters were sent to the Greeks, and the reason is because the Greeks and the Romans, their culture was different than that of the native people. Another point is the Latin term for this particular text, man who defileth himself against mankind. The word is masculorum concubitoris, and it looks like the Bible is still condemning a male concubine, meaning a man having sex with a boy. And in my opinion, this First Timothy, this information in 1 Timothy, these texts, is in harmony with all the other texts. There is a common thread. So I was having a conversation, and during this well, I won't call it a little debate, I was given a text from the letter to Jude. Another thing, I've read Jude, but I did not see this information or anything in there about Sodom and Gomorrah, and so I was really surprised to see it. Genesis doesn't refer to fornication, but this particular text does associate fornication to Sodom and Gomorrah, and it also discusses or brings up strange flesh. That's the phrase, that's the text, that's the word. The Bible says fornication is a sin against the body, and I would really like to understand that a little better, but I'm going to focus on the term strange flesh. And the thought came to my mind that this was another sin of Sodom and Gomorrah. Outside of the selfishness and the greed in the book of Ezekiel, they were also forcing themselves on strange flesh, meaning visitors, people that they did not know, people who were unwilling to go along with their sexual rituals. And strange flesh can also be defined as a corpse. It's very possible that people were having sex with corpse at that time. There were a lot of unconventional things going on. So what does this word strange flesh mean? I looked in this letter. It's a short letter. But what really disturbed me is this was being used to condemn homosexuality, but the word homosexuality is not in that text. It's not there. And strange flesh could have many meanings, but I doubt, based on what I've read, based on the definitions, that it has anything to do with consensual sex between people of the same gender. I really doubt that. I really feel that the Greek and Hebrew concordance is vital to any Bible study. And I pause because I want to make sure that, nothing is perfect, but I think if anyone is going to study the Bible, the Greek and Hebrew concordance is really good to have. There is a common thread throughout the Bible regarding man and mankind, starting with the book of Genesis. And just based on what I've read, the sin was non-consensual sex. The sin was having sex with boys. The sin was orgies. Again, non-consensual sex. Women with men, men with women, women with women, men with men, all together just doing whatever they wanted to do. It was not natural. It was not within the Constitution. It was not what was called disposition, meaning orderly, meaning natural. And this is the end, but I just want to give my opinion. I have reverence for the intelligence of the creator of the universe. And it's hard for me to believe that any force or entity that was able to create such harmony in the universe would be able to direct or would direct a human to throw stones at another human. But it sounds right that the creator of the universe would direct or inspire someone to protect children and to protect the least among us. And in my opinion, that's what all of these scriptures were about. It was not about grown people engaging in consensual relationships. It was about protecting the least among us. And it sounds so right. If you have any comments regarding this topic or any other uploads regarding this topic, please feel free to comment. Thank you.